So tonight, I want to ask for your help with something. So we've been blessed to have this special service tonight here in the Auburn Academy Church. And one of the things that we really strive with our kids is proper decorum. There's certain ways, certain behavior when we're in certain settings. And so I just want to encourage you to help us. I've already given them a speech tonight, and that's why I need your help, because this is an exuberant time. So we don't want you to, we don't want to say don't celebrate, but we just want to remember that we are in a sanctuary and appropriately then support our kids today. So just a few weeks ago, I walked into the first grade classroom, and first grade was all excited because they had something going on in their classroom that we as teachers at Buena Vista see every year, but we see it in young people. What they were doing was they were actually raising butterflies. Well, it wasn't butterflies. You had to go back to the very beginning, right? So what's the first stage? An egg. What's the second stage? A caterpillar. Then the caterpillar does what? Goes into the chrysalis. There's going to be a quiz on this, so please be taking notes. It goes into a chrysalis. And as it goes through that period of transition in the chrysalis, it begins to go through a struggle. And as I thought about that concept of butterflies, I thought about our 7th and 8th graders, and tonight especially our 8th graders. They have gone through so many transitions. They're not quite out of the chrysalis yet. Mr. Fackenthal, that'll happen on your watch. When they finally break free and as butterflies begin to go out and impact the world, chaos theory, so just bear with me. So tonight we're here to watch another step in this transition. And we're excited to have you here. I'm excited to have my staff here as well. And we welcome you to this special night. And we hope that you are as blessed as we have been working with these young people that you see up here tonight.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. My name is Philip, and I'm Philip Isverhi, and I'm the class pastor of this class. And first off, I would just like to thank everybody for coming here to celebrate with us this graduation. Our class verse is found in Philippians 4:13, and it says, "I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me." For our class, this verse means that wherever we might be and whatever challenges we might be facing, we can always lean on God, and He will always help us. Thank you.
May you please stand for prayer. And gentlemen, can you please remove your caps? Dear Jesus, we invite you to be here with us this evening as we celebrate our 8th grade class. Thank you for this day, and thank you for giving us all the opportunity to be here today and celebrate the lives of this 8th grade class. I pray that you help this program to run smoothly and for everyone to be blessed by it. Please be with each one of these individuals on their personal journeys with you and bless each and every one of them. I pray that you be with everyone here, and we thank them all for their support. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Darrow, and I will be playing the piece One Summer's Day. And this piece is pretty special to me. It gives me strength and power, And in the movie that the piece that it is taken from, the main character has to overcome a bunch of challenges that are overall impossible for her to do alone. But she was able to overcome them with the help of the people that she met along the way. And in life, we all have our challenges, and some of them are practically impossible by ourselves. But with the help of our friends and family, we can overcome them. And of course, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And one more thing I'd like to mention. I want to give out a shout out to my brother, my personal trainer, for getting me through the piece and guiding me. So thank you.
Good evening and welcome, Principal Morgan, faculty, class of 2022, friends, and family. My name is Katie Sun, and I stand before you as Buena Vista's class of 2022 historian. It is hard to believe that we have endured all these years together and have finally made our way to graduation. We have been through many ups and downs and may even know each other better than we know ourselves. Tonight, as we prepare to say goodbye to BV, it is my privilege as historian to share with you our cherished memories that make the class of 2022, in my opinion, a terrific bunch of kids. The first big journey in life for most people begins with a new experience called school. In 2013, for 7 of us, that journey began here at BV in kindergarten with Mrs. Clifford. Back then, our school days ended at noon, and days were spent learning how to read, how to follow directions, and how to get along with one another. For kindergarten graduation, we did not have robes, but instead wore paper hats. But it did not matter, as we were as happy as we are today. Mrs. Clifford decided to leave BV this year, and we became her last class. Little did we know that back then, teachers leaving after our class would become a trend. You'll know why I said that as my speech goes on. 2014 was the start of a full day of school in first grade with Mrs. Nelson. We were Mrs. Nelson's very first class. This was the year many new friends came to BV, including myself. Today, we are known as the class of 2022, but back then, we were the class of meerkats. The best memories of first grade were the amazing field trips we took throughout the year. Trips to the farm, seeing real-life meerkats at the zoo, and spending time at museums and parks. This is the year many of us learned about money. We would compete to see who made the most money during fun folder time. We would start our own fake businesses and try to become the richest kid in class until we started to write one too many zeros and everyone became a trillionaire. First grade came to an end with Mrs. Nelson's red carpet event to celebrate our pre-entry of second grade. We all felt like Hollywood stars. Fall 2015, second grade with Mrs. Crooker. We remember visiting many places during our field trips. Our favorites were the Flight Museum, the zoo, and Sunset Lake. We also enjoyed the visits from Miss Crooker's dog, Bonnie. She was a great addition to our classroom. Another memorable moment was when we billed her the Best Teacher Award during Fun Folder and project time. Miss Crooker introduced us to science when she dissected a sheep's brain and taught us about the cerebellum and tree of life. Sadly, Miss Crooker decided to leave BV after this school year, making us her last class as well. In 2016, we began third grade with Mr. Slavens, the cool teacher who rode a motorcycle to school. We still have fond images of his license plate collection on the walls and the warm smell of Pike Place coffee Mr. Slavens brewed in class that greeted us each morning. Our biggest event was the famous egg drop project, where we each made a parachute or box that kept our eggs safe when Principal Troutwine dropped them from the roof. It was exciting to hear the words, "It survived!" And who could forget Yay Days with Mr. Slavens? Mr. Slavens would hold auctions for us, and we got to spend the big bucks we earned throughout the year. Mrs. Loken was our fourth grade teacher in 2017. Fourth grade was our last year at the lower grade side of the hallway. We were finally in the lucky grade that got to learn how to play the ukulele with Pastor Brent. We enjoyed touring and playing for our community. Memories of worship with Mrs. Loken playing her guitar is something we will continue to cherish. This is the year we got to visit BizTown, a place we could act like adults with jobs and open a bank account. We were all busy filing papers, broadcasting on TV, and writing paychecks. Down the big kid hall we go in 2018 as we begin fifth grade with Mr. Richards. Who knew a simple walk down the other hallway would bring on so much change and responsibility? We were able to use lockers, which we had to rescue David B. from when he got himself stuck in one, rotate to different classes, and have new schedules. Writing the Civil War letters and taking pictures with costumes was hands down the best part about being Mr. Richards' student. We were the last class to participate in Mr. Richards' progressive dinner and enjoy Mrs. Richards' ice cream pie. Mr. Richards helped us realize that social studies and history can actually be fun. His reenactments and storytelling were the best parts of the lessons. Many great stories were made during that year, and one we still talk about today is when Mr. Richards fell asleep during our Christmas party while watching VeggieTales. We will always remember Mr. Richards' history-themed room decorations that displayed the theme of what we were learning at that time. Mr. Richards retired after this year, and we had to say goodbye to him as well. Mr. Ballard was our teacher for 6th grade in 2019. This was a much anticipated year for many of us. We have heard from siblings and prior students what a great time they had in 6th with Mr. Ballard. The year started out great with our trip to Sunset Lake and singing Christmas carols for morning customers at McDonald's. But the good times would soon end. We, along with the rest of the world, fell victim to COVID. All schools went online in March of 2020 and would stay that way to the end of the school year. Fall 2020 was the start of 7th grade and the start of in-class learning. However, the class split into 2 cohorts, and we had to wait even longer to see a lot of our friends. Field trips were no longer being taken, and the morning handshakes and high fives were replaced by face masks and temperature checks. Finally, in April, the 2 cohorts joined, and we were one big happy class again. But we will soon say goodbye to another teacher, but this time for a joyous reason. Mr. L was blessed with 2 twins and took the rest of the school year off for paternity leave. Fortunately, we were blessed with Mrs. Rutherford, who stepped in as our teacher for the remainder of the year. Listening to her play the piano for worship is something we will miss when we leave BV. 2021, we begin the final leg of our journey at BV, 8th grade. This was the 2nd year of having Mr. L as our teacher because this time, Ms. Misselfeld decided to leave before we got to her class. It has been a year of many ups and downs, but great memories were still made. Although life was somewhat returning to pre-COVID times, we were still not in the clear, and as a result, Mr. L was not able to join us during field trips, including the big trip to Rosario. But once again, we were blessed with amazing parents and staff. Ms. Felicia's contribution allowed us to have an even more amazing 8th grade. We joined her worships, cahoots, conversations, and her company at our class trip. We are also very grateful to Pastor Kai Kai, who we enjoy playing sports with and games on our trips. He also substituted for our class when Mr. L was gone. We ended the school year with our class trip to Seattle and Rosario. We rode the Great Wheel and toured Friday Harbor. Tonight, as we prepare to leave BV for the summer, we are both saddened for the not being able to say, see you next year, but excited to start the next journey of our lives. The class of 2022 is truly blessed and grateful for everyone who supported us to grow in every way possible and helped us in coming one step closer to reaching our dreams. The time spent at BV will never be forgotten, and we owe it all to everyone here tonight, and especially Miss Donna. Every special moment at BV included you. Thank you for the memories.
Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm the president of the 8th grade class, and I just want to give a little speech. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to compare yourself to others? Even if we know better, we look at someone else and think they have a better life than we do. How many times have we thought, if only I had the right hair or clothes? If only I were taller or faster or funnier? We're always trying to be like today's society, buying the nicest shoes and the most expensive clothes. There's an old story of a king who went to his garden and found everything withered and dying. He asked the oak tree what was wrong. The oak tree said it was sick of living because it was not as green and beautiful as the pine tree. The pine tree was dropping needles because it couldn't grow grapes like the grapevine. And the grapevine let itself shrivel up because it couldn't stand up straight and tall like the peach tree. Every plant in the garden was discontent and wanted to be something else except the violet. There it stood with its happy face turned towards the sun. The king asked the little flower why it was so happy. Well, said the violet, I figured that if you wanted a big oak tree or a peach tree in my spot, you would have planted one, but you planted me, a violet. Since you wanted a violet, I've made up my mind to be the best little violet I can be. Sometimes we're like an oak tree or the peach tree. We look at others and think they have a better lifestyle or they have better shoes or clothes, but we don't know what they did to have these things. We need to be like Paul and to be content in any situation. We need to just ask God to help us to be more like him in these times. Also, at these times, we need to look at the things that we have and be more grateful and appreciative of these things. Many people aren't happy with their physical appearance, but we need to recognize that the fact that we're perfectly and wonderfully made, as it says in Paul 139:14. And then this is further reinforced in Ephesians 2:10, where it says, "For we are his workmanship created in Christ." So let us not second guess ourselves. We are special, and God created us to be different, just like the body has different parts and different functions. You will meet people with different personalities, different skill sets, different hair colors, different body types, but all in all, God created us in his image. A body has many parts, but all its many parts form one body. For we were all baptized by one Spirit, so as to form one body, whether Jew or Gentile, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Now if the foot should say, "Because I am not a hand, I do not belong to the body," it would not for that reason stop being a part of the body. And if the ear should say, "Because I am not an eye, I do not belong to the body," it would not for that reason stop being a part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, where would the sense of hearing be? If the whole body were an ear, where would the sense of smell be? If we were all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, "I don't need you," and the head cannot say to the feet, "I don't need you." The parts that we think are less honorable, we should treat better. But God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body. The world tells us that if we buy certain things or wear certain clothes or drive a certain car, we will be cool. We put in so much time and energy trying to be somebody but ourselves. God made us special, and I wanted to share something special about all my classmates. Eliza, she is probably the funniest person you will ever meet. How she tells her stories will just want to make you laugh. Bella is the most quiet, but she does powerful things without saying a word. Brian is hardworking. He has come so far grade-wise. He's become one of the most hardworking people in our class. Calvin is charismatic, and he cares about how others feel. Lizzie is an artist who makes the drawings jump out of the page. Leia is the most energetic person in our class, even if she comes to school late. Miguel always has a good attitude about everything he does. Eli is a diligent worker, and once he's made up his mind to do something, he will stick with it. David L. is an easygoing person and great to be around for good company. Elizabeth Kim is fastidious, even if the task is very hard. Jin is brave. She moved all the way from Korea, leaving her friends and family behind to come to our class. Michelle is very patient. She is someone you can talk to about anything. She will sit there and listen and give you advice about your problems. Lily is assertive. She believes strongly in her thoughts and ideas. Katie is organized. When you ever need to know when assignment is due, go to her. Kaylani is inclusive. She's always trying to talk to everyone and be friends with them and make them feel welcome. Melissa is creative. She thinks outside of the box. Vanya is agreeable. She always finds a situation to work for everyone. David V. is dependable. Whenever you need to get something done, you'll know he can do it for you. Samantha is considerate and makes sure everyone's needs are met. Abby is very calm. Even when there's turbulence, she keeps her cool. Joey is generous and she shares with others easily. Izzy is very ambitious and strives for excellence in everything, and she also gave me a run for my money as president. Philip is sincere. When you ask him for his honest opinion, he'll tell you, even if it hurts. Carlos is adventurous. He takes lots of interesting risks, like climbing up the basketball hoop. Christian is friendly. He had become me and Calvin's friend within the first 20 minutes of school. Jairo is cheerful and always seems to have a grin on his face. In closing, when the world makes us feel like the oak tree or the peach tree, we look at others and think they have a better lifestyle than we do, let us remember that we are special. We need to thank God for the gifts that he's given us. We need to be more like Paul, to be content in whatever situation, because situations are not permanent. So as my mom would say, bloom where you're planted. Be like the violet. Be the best you can be.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and I'm the vice president of this class. So today, I have the honor of introducing our speaker, Ms. Nelson. So some of the things that, I can remember is that, a lot of new students came, and, she was new too, so she made learning fun, and she made us all feel welcome, and she understood, things since we were nervous and excited and kids. So, thank you for being a good teacher and very kind to us, and you're a great first teacher for first grade. So thank you.
Thank you, Izzy, very much. It's nice to see you up there. Thank you, 8th grade class. I clearly recall the evening of my own 8th grade graduation almost 30 years ago. You guys, it was in 1990. Imagine it. The 1900s. So long. I hope that you have the best time as you celebrate this transition from middle school to high school tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you tonight, and I want to welcome you and your families and friends to this milestone evening. I'm going to switch the podium over a little bit so that I can see you while I'm speaking to you. There we go. As a teacher, I realize that I get a few precious moments to connect with those I am teaching. Someone who teaches first grade like me has about 6 to 7 minutes before people start moving around and talking again. I am honored that you asked me to come up here and spend some moments with you. I know you've already been up here for a long time, so I'm going to try and keep it to about 13 to 14 minutes. You guys think you can hang in for that? Yep? Okay. Well, your class roster has changed a lot in the last 8 years. And like Katie mentioned, your class was the Meerkat class. And I remember you enjoying your time learning about meerkats and going to the zoo. And we were a good little group of meerkats. We played well together, we worked well together, and we took care of each other. My dear friend, Ruthie McPherson, was the first grade teacher at BV for about 40 years before I took over that role. She would choose an animal for each class of first graders. And I asked Ruthie, when my own kids were in her class, how do you choose an animal for a group? And she said that she would pray about it, and the Holy Spirit would tell her which animal to have. When Ruthie thought about your class, she prayed about your class. She loved you even before you were first graders, and she chose the meerkats to represent your group. She was very sad that she couldn't be your first grade teacher, but when she knew that I was going to be your teacher, she asked me if I would be able to take the meerkat tradition and have that be your theme. Ruthie loved you guys. She loved all of her classes. When she asked me to carry that on, I said, of course. She devoted so much of herself to each of her class of first graders, and I wanted to follow in that example. I tried to do that with your class and with all of the classes that I have taught since. The most important thing to me as a teacher is that you felt loved when you were in my class. Of course, I wanted you to be strong readers, and I wanted you to learn how to tell time and know what the coins were and what their values. And please put your periods at the end of your sentences. You do that now, please, right? You guys do that? Excellent. I wanted you to learn all of those academic things, but I wanted you to feel loved above all else, and I hope that you did. One of the hard things about being a teacher in younger grades is that your students don't remember things that you did in those classes. As humans, you tend to remember the really good things that happened to you and the really bad things that happened to you. I don't know what you remember from your first grade experience, but one of my memories of your class happened at the end of your first grade year. Miss Crooker, Mrs. Walter, and I took kindergarten and first grade and second grade out to the benches in the back of the school. We walked through the tall grass, and we had worship together there as a group. And I told you a story about something that I did at a church camp out when I was about your age. While on this camp out, my cousin and I came up with the brilliant but ridiculous plan to sneak into my uncle's cabin in the middle of the night, and fill his tennis shoes with honey. My cousin and I went to bed giggling and so excited to see the look of surprise on his face the next morning. Imagine the look of surprise on our faces when we realized we had not filled our uncle's shoes, but we had used an entire jug of Costco honey to fill the shoes of the visiting pastor who was staying in the same cabin. It's pretty bad. I don't remember other church campouts, and I went on them every year, but I remember that one. All these years later, I can still remember the horror that I felt when I realized that I had filled a stranger's tennis shoes, the only pair he had brought with him, with a half-gallon of honey. I remember feeling terribly embarrassed and ashamed. Not only had I ruined somebody else's belongings, but I had done it in front of my entire family, in front of my entire church community. Everyone that I cared about had seen this mistake that I had made. You might be thinking that this is a memory that I have held on to because it was one of those bad memories that you can't forget. But I want to tell you what happened next. My uncle's friend, who was by now wearing borrowed flip-flops, graciously accepted my apology, laughed about the honey, and told me not to worry about it. He showed me mercy and love when I didn't necessarily deserve it, and it's a good memory I hope to remember always. I also had to buy him new shoes, but that should be expected. As you guys get older, perhaps you won't remember many of the things that you did in first grade or even the 8th grade. You may not remember the day-to-day procedures of your classroom, the games you played at recess, who you sat with, or what the speaker at your graduation talked about. You won't remember a lot of details about your school day, but you will remember how you were treated and how you felt with the people around you. I hope you have felt loved during our time at our school. Whether you have been here for the 9 years, the 5 years, or 1 year, I hope you have felt kindness and love from your peers, from your teachers, from your principal, from the lunch lady, from everybody who walks through that door. Further, I hope that you have shared love through your kindness, patience, and helpfulness with those around you. Maybe you didn't. I don't always, and I didn't always as a teenager. Maybe you didn't, and now you have the opportunity to tell someone that you're proud of them or that you're sorry for being unkind. We never know how our actions will affect those around us. Last year, I was at BV for graduation, and I witnessed a BV grad shake the hand of a peer, telling them how thankful he was for that person's love and kindness to him on his first day of school at BV the year before. Love can change someone's day. It can change their week. It can change their school year. Love can change your life. Love is what I want you to think about as we spend these next moments together. Love is a really big concept. You know what it's like to love your friends and your mom and dad and your siblings, maybe even your pets. Some of you have felt the heart-pounding love of your first crush. I see you touching hands in the hallway as you're transitioning classes. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just telling you it's noticed. But you guys, love is more than a feeling. It's how we connect and we interact with each other. It's relational, and sometimes it's really messy and hard. In the Bible, in 1 Corinthians 13:4, there is a verse that we see and hear often as Christians. It starts like this: love is patient and kind. This verse is sometimes tricky for me because I tend to struggle with many of the things that the Apostle Paul says love is not. I am boastful. I can be rude. I can be very irritable. And despite my struggles with being boastful and rude and irritable, I want to share with you the entire chapter surrounding the verse. In the New Living Translation Bible, the title of chapter 13 is Love is the Greatest. I like that title so much because being patient and being kind and being respectful and caring for others, all of those things are based on love. It's the foundation. Here's the Bible for you. Love is the greatest. If I could speak all the languages of earth and of angels but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I had the gift of prophecy and if I understood all of God's secret plans and possessed all knowledge, And if I had such faith that I could move mountains but didn't love others, I would be nothing. If I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, I could boast about it. But if I didn't love others, I would have gained nothing. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever truth wins out. Love never gives up. It never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance. Prophecy and speaking in unknown languages and special knowledge will become useless, but love will last forever. Now, our knowledge is partial and incomplete, and even the gift of prophecy reveals only part of the whole picture, but when the time of perfection comes, these partial things will become useless. When I was a child, I spoke and thought and reasoned as a child, but when I grew up, I put away childish things. Now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror, but then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is partial and incomplete, but then I will know everything completely, just as God now knows me completely. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. You and I live in a world that's full of love, but we can be overwhelmed by the parts of life that are hateful and sad. Humans are inundated with information about the negative things happening around us. War, school shootings, racial injustice, a global pandemic. Just a few years ago, I would hear a news story and then I would go about the rest of my day, not thinking about it. And now I can pick up my phone every half an hour and see another part of a terrible story. We see examples of hate and evil all day long. We watch the same news stories repeatedly in multiple formats: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, memes, whatever the new thing is that you guys are doing. Clickbait designed to make us want more and more information, and we can fall into a trap of feeling like this world is a very scary and unkind place. It can feel overwhelming to see chaos around you and feel like you can't make a difference. As you are moving into high school, I propose that you can use 1 Corinthians 13 as a guide to make your world a better place, a more loving place. It seems like a really big task, but love can be found in small and big instances. The beginning of the chapter, the Apostle Paul points to all we can learn and know about the world. You guys are students. Your job is to learn and go to school. I encourage you to do just that. Do your best every day. Marvel over math problems. Be amazed by the scientific world. Read great books and write amazing essays. Learn a second or a third language. Grow your mind every chance you get. But also, help a friend who doesn't understand algebra like you do. Include somebody who is more introverted or shy in your conversations about your science projects. Be respectful in your classes because you care about, you even love your teachers. Don't be a noisy gong or a crashing cymbal. Remember that none of your future degrees, none of your skills, none of your careers will matter unless love is the greatest thing. Future high schoolers, please be on high alert for ways you can support each other, like meerkats. But know that sometimes the ways you care for others will go unnoticed. There are days in my classroom and in my home, when I'm driving in my car, that no one notices how loving I am or what I did for someone else, but it still matters. I want to do good things for others, not because I will get a pat on the back, but because love is the greatest. As teenagers, you are especially awesome at forming new opinions and ideas, right? It's what your brains were designed to do. Sometimes these ideas will be different from your parents and your teachers, and that's okay. As you grow and you develop your own thoughts about the world, think about 1 Corinthians, where it says our ideas may be partial or incomplete, not fully recognized, only showing part of the picture. Your opinions are important, but they will evolve and grow as you do, changing as you experience each new phase of your life. But you guys, as you change, love lasts forever, and it is the greatest. Further, as you are having conversations with those around you, you will start to move toward the people that have the same ideas you have. Please be open to the concept that people who think differently than you have great ideas sometimes. You can love them too. If you are only ever with people who agree with you, there isn't a lot of room for growth in your life or theirs. Loving someone who believes something different from you can form a bridge that enables you to discuss your ideas while still being kind and respectful. Forming your own ideas and your own opinions includes understanding and embracing your amazing Adventist culture. We are the Christian descendants of believers like Ellen White, Fernando and Anna Stahl, Anna Knight, and many more who we learn about in first grade Bible all those years ago. These pioneers worked hard for others and based their work on the love of God and sharing his love in their community. I want to focus on Anna Knight for a moment. She grew up in the southern United States during the late 1800s and became an Adventist when she was a young adult, not much older than you guys are. Anna was told by her mother to leave home because of her baptism into our church. She continued to follow God, and she worked for him, becoming a nurse and then a missionary to India. When Anna Knight came back to the United States, she saw a need for children in her own community to have an education and learn about God. Knight pushed through hardship, lack of funds, lack of supplies, racism, the burning of her school building. She persevered when some in her community felt threatened and angered by her attempts, but she was successful in her desire to educate children and adults during many years of complicated work. Love isn't always easy. Loving God isn't always easy. Doing God's work isn't always easy. Don't be afraid to do hard things that are based in your strong convictions and your knowledge that helping others and telling others about Jesus' love for them is the greatest gift. Paul concludes his love chapter with a reminder regarding how we change and grow, just like a caterpillar. He uses himself as an example, noting that as a child he was different from how he was as a grown-up. I think being a child and a teenager is a lot of hard work. I know that sometimes adults say things about how easy it is to be a kid because you guys don't have to pay bills and you don't have to worry about insurance and you don't have to do this. But I don't think that we ever remember the uncertainty of youth. You guys are maneuvering through school, home life, global and community issues. You're talking about social connections that you're learning to deal with each day, and you also have an amazing load of hormones coursing through your bodies to make everything crazy all the time. And Paul explains it well. He writes it's like looking in a mirror, but not exactly recognizing the reflection of who or what you are. Maybe you have felt uncertainty like that. I felt it when I was your age. But notice what Paul writes next. Even though you have that uncertainty, God knows you completely, even when you don't recognize yourself. He loves you. He wants you to love yourself too, because love is the greatest. Make his love for you and your love for him the base of all you set out to accomplish moving forward from this day. As you move into the next stage of your life, remember that you have a community that loves you so much. You are part of that community, and you can share that love with other people as well. 1 Corinthians 13 is there for you, and how you can rely on it to help you change the world with love you can do every day. So many things will change as you continue to grow, but three things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And God's love for you is really the greatest thing. Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you, Mrs. Nelson, for speaking.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Hi, I'm Kaylani Pack, and I'm one of the class treasurers, and this is Elizabeth Lysek, and she is the class artist. All of us 8th graders wanted to thank our parents for supporting us throughout our lives, letting us go to school, helping us with schoolwork, and letting us go to sports and experiencing new things. They have given up many hours to volunteer and donate and make our trips and parties possible. So we got together and we got roses and made cards to show our appreciation.
Parents of Philip Bisverhi, please stand.
The parents of Brian Boyso, please stand. Yes, say Carlos, say Carlos.
Parents of Carlos Castro, please stand.
Brian's. The parents of Isabella Cardoso, please stand.
Parents of Abigail Clark, please stand.
The parents of Christian Darrow, please stand.
Parents of Calvin Doolin, please stand.
The parents of Jairo Hernandez, please stand.
Parents of Arabella Horry, please stand.
The parents of Vanya Jarquin Ramirez, please stand.
Parents of Ethan John Baptiste, please stand.
The parents of Lily Keelan, please stand.
Parents of Elizabeth Kim, please stand.
The parents of David Leva, please stand.
Parents of Joey Magaki, please stand.
The parents of Eli McNamara, please stand. The parents of Melissa Mejia Lucci, please stand.
The parents of Samantha Paredes, please stand.
You know this? Okay. The parents of Jin Park, please stand.
The parents of Elisa Sibarukwa, please stand.
The parents of Leah Stearns, please stand.
Parents of Katie's son, please stand.
The parents of Miguel Tolosa Gomez, please stand.
The parents of David Visinovich, please stand.
The parents of Michelle Villegas, please stand.
The parents of Kaylani Pack, please stand.
The parents of Elizabeth Lysick, please stand.
So now we get to have the fun part of presenting the diplomas. I would like to invite parents, if you are wanting to take a closer picture of your student when they come through, the 2 pews in the front are available if you want to come down for their, as you see them approaching, and then return to your seat when they're done to make room for the other parents. Those pews are available if you need them. So each year, the President's Education Awards are presented to Buena Vista students during the final chapel of the school year. Students who earned a grade point average of 3.75 to 4.0 for their 7th and 8th grade school years received the President's Education Excellence Award. Students who maintained a grade point average of 3.20 to 3.74 for their 7th and 8th grade school years received the President's Education Achievement Award. Certificates, cords, and pins were presented to the students earlier today so that they could wear the cords and pins during our graduation ceremony. As names are read for students to receive their diplomas, these awards will also be mentioned. Please hold your applause until the student's name and award have been announced. Congratulations to all our graduates for reaching the first educational goal. And now it is time for the diplomas. Will the front row please stand? Michelle Villegas. You can clap. Elizabeth Ruth Kim, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Christian Dean Manalo Darrow, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. Calvin Jonathan Doolin, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Leah Alexis Elizabeth Stearns, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. Melissa Abigail Mejia Lucci. Lily Mae Keelan, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Vanya Giselle Harkin Ramirez, 9-year Buena Vista student. Elizabeth R. Lysick, 9-year Buena Vista student, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. Jin Park, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Abigail Lee Clark. Isabella Alexis Cardoso, 9-year Buena Vista student, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Ethan Matthias Jean-Baptiste, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Joey Niaboke Magaki, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Katie Tassom Sun, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Kaylani Reese Pack, 9-year Buena Vista student, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Philip A. Biesverki. Carlos Castro, 9-year Buena Vista student. Aliza Naluoza Sebarakwa, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. Jairo Yaziel Hernandez. Arabella Lamour Houry, 9-year Buena Vista student. Miguel Leonardo Tolosa Gomez, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. Eli Kevin McNamara, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. David Alexander Vasyanovich, 9-year Buena Vista student, recipient of the President's Education Excellence Award. Brian Salvador Boiso, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. David Leva, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award. Samantha Gabriela Paredes, recipient of the President's Education Achievement Award.
There are a few other individual awards, individuals here of the class of 2022 that we want to recognize. The first is the eagle's wings. And if you picture an eagle, a little eaglet up in its nest, and it's finally time to fly, it doesn't know how to fly, it gets pushed out of its nest, and it begins to plummet to the earth. Has one of two choices: persevere and figure it out how to fly. I don't need to tell you the alternative. There are three individuals that we identified as having really grown tremendously through their 7th and 8th grade years. And so we'd want to recognize those individuals at this point with the eagle's wings. So would Brian, Abby, and Joey please come down here?
Another award that we give out is for leadership. And as we talked as Buena Vista staff, this person stood out. And leadership is both defined as the action of leading, but also the potential, the capacity to lead. So this individual, Aliza, is our recipient of the Leadership Award.
The next one that we want to present is the Principals Award. And the Principals Award is typically given to one individual that has demonstrated both upstanding character and academic excellence. But this class made it really hard. In fact, it made it so hard we decided we need to recognize these two individuals, Eli and Katie.
Each year, the City of Auburn awards students at Auburn schools with Kids Day Salute Award. These awards are presented to the students in a ceremony during Auburn Kids Day at the end of June. This year, the Kids Day Salute Award is presented to Leah Stearns. This is what was written about Leah. The staff at Buena Vista Seventh-day Adventist School is proud to salute Leah Stearns as this year's Choice for the Kids Day Salute Award. Leah was chosen because of her kindness to others, her willing, helpful spirit, and her courteous, respectful attitude toward teachers and staff. Out of the goodness of her heart, this year, Leah volunteered to help teachers after school with tasks such as grading papers, organizing files, copying assignments, and even vacuuming and helping clean up around the classrooms. Soon, her efforts and hard work were recognized by the administration of our school, and she was asked to join the vocational educational program, which resulted in a quarterly stipend. Leah has been a member of our Buena Vista Bell Choir and Drama Club in the past, and this year she was invited to join the Auburn Adventist Academy Bell Choir. She also joined the Auburn Adventist Academy High School Drama Club and played several roles in the production of Anne of Green Gables this spring. Showing consistent sportsmanship, Leah has been an enthusiastic team player in soccer and in basketball for several years. Leah is known by teachers at all grade levels for her helpfulness, for her cooperative spirit, and for her kindness to young and old alike. In the hallway, she shares a warm, friendly smile with everyone she passes. Thank you, Leah Stearns, for the positive impact you have had on Buena Vista over the years.
Good evening. It is a pleasure to be here representing Auburn Adventist Academy. You guys look very sharp. Usually I see you running around the halls or at a worship and you're in your classroom day-to-day atmosphere. I was impressed by the message that Katie and Ethan, you were sharing about what makes your class unique. And I was reminded of something that we've all experienced because we remember life based on what took place at different moments. And I want to add this to your list of this unique year. I had to borrow my wife's phone, so let me get in. Yeah, she doesn't know I know her passcode, but I'm in now. So I love following the news, and the National Weather Service put out a note. Some of you may have seen that note here at the end of May. So here's what they trace weather. And your year has been unique because I want to trace for you the weather above 70 degrees in the greater Seattle area. In 2015, we had 77 hours above 70 in Seattle. Yeah, we measure it by hours. In Seattle, we measure by hours. In 2016, there were 144 hours of sunshine. Remember that tan? That was a great year. We were doing really well there. 2017, 85 hours. 2018, 107 hours. 2019, 103. 2020, 88. Last year, 2021, we had 80. And this year, we have had 5. Anybody surprised? No. Are you surprised? No, because it has been like, okay, I have moss growing everywhere. 5 hours above 70 degrees. That is something to remember. That's what makes life unique. So my first BV graduation that I can remember was in the spring of 1995. And at that graduation, a young lady graduated, and I remember her playing a musical piece. Her name was Carice. And Carice graduated and came across the street to the academy, and I got to know her at the academy. I watched her grow up, and her freshman year, she was literally bouncing off the walls. Those of you that know Carice, she was bouncing off the walls everywhere, just hyperactive, involved. She became an ASB officer, She dated different boys in high school. She dated one guy towards the end of high school. They graduate, go on to college. He breaks up with her. She has to break up with him because he broke up with her. They graduate from college, and I am blessed to have been part of their life going on. I eventually hired her husband to be a PE teacher down in California and became deep friends with them. Early in May, I spent a weekend, an afternoon with them, with their kids, my kids, and those two individuals who were former students, who were 8th graders, that I got to watch and experience their life journey. You are beginning a journey. As was mentioned, you are in a phase that transitions. And I am so blessed to just remind myself that there is a great future in store for each of you that we are looking forward to seeing. I want to thank you as parents for dedicating and creating family that brought you here. I saw pastors here who have made a difference in your lives in dedicating ministry and finances to coming. And at Auburn Adventist Academy, we do the same thing. We sacrificially put together a budget that we sweat over so that one of the major line items in our budget is student scholarships. So that's for our students that are there with us. We work actively in scholarshiping students, and as part of that, tonight we asked BV to help us identify some students for a number of different areas. We have a area of GPA, a highlight, so to speak, of excellence and grade point average, and then we have other students that we are celebrating based on who they are as students and where their future is going to take them. In 4 years, you're going to be adults, many of you. This next year, these next few years are a bridge and a journey. We look forward to being a part of that journey with you as I look out and see those faces that were here last year. And I remember that your life is just beginning. I want to pass on some acknowledgments and awards. Again, these are recognitions that we asked BV to give us a hand with. So I'm going to read some notes here that were provided for me about why you were selected by your faculty and staff at Buena Vista to receive this recognition and financial scholarship to Auburn Adventist Academy. For academic excellence, being friendly and a hard worker, Lily Keelan. For being polite, having an even personality, being a good student, and participating in class, David Leva. For being a hard worker, kind to others, and polite in the classroom, Miguel Tolosa Gomez. For being helpful, kind, and a good student, and Mr. Lichtenwalter, you read it better than I, Leah Stearns. Being a strong worker in the face of hardship, kind to those around her, and an agreeable student, Abigail Clark. These last three awards are going for academic excellence. These three students maintained a 4.0 grade point average in 7th and 8th grade, which means that all of their grades were at an A level. And the three students I'll read and present these. Elizabeth Kim. I've heard about these. I never quite experienced them myself. Congratulations. Eli McNamara. And the last academic is for David Vasinovich. Mr. Morgan, Buena Vista, we are privileged and blessed to be part of the Adventist educational system. And the last little bit, so if you're wondering what to do, a little commercial, if you're wondering what to do this summer, parents, we have jobs available at Auburn Adventist Academy. If you want your student to work hard and experience a summer of working in the rain maybe, the reason I mention that is because the price of Christian education is worth it. Every individual that has been supporting these students has done so sacrificially. The churches that put that line item in their budget make that decision to do so because they believe that in K-8 education, 9-12, college, university, and beyond, there's a place for Jesus Christ in school. We look forward to seeing you at Auburn Adventist Academy. Congratulations.
Hi, family and friends. My name is Samantha Paredes. I am class secretary, and I will be doing the tribute to teacher. This would not be possible without Mr. L. He is passing knowledge to us, and we're passing knowledge to him. Today we celebrate our Today we celebrate our graduation, but to also say thanks to Mr. L. Mr. Lichtenwalter has played many different roles for us, helping, giving advice, playing sports with us while we're at break, like basketball, the fun stuff. And being strict when we just need to be straightened up and focused. Our teacher is always there to help us and to guide us through our successes and even our failures. Today, the class of 2022 of Buena Vista would like to honor our great teacher for all what he has done for us. He's been our teacher for about 2 years. He has stood by our side when we've been a little bit stressful and a little bit hard to cooperate. He understands us and has given us a helping hand when we don't understand stuff. I think all of us would like to say that we are grateful to have a teacher like Mr. Lichtenwalter.
Good evening, families and graduates. I'm excited to announce that this year's gift for the Buena Vista is a new projector, as it has come to our attention that it is no longer working as it used to. We are excited. Me and Kaylani have been attending to this school since like first grade and kindergarten. We have not always been such an easy class or easy students, but I'm glad to be able to attend this school. I'm glad that I was able to experience new things, new friends, and new opportunities. All I want to say is thank you. Thank you to everyone who's helped our class. Thank you for everyone who has given up their time to make time for our class. Thank you for making an effort for us, even when we haven't always been easy. So thank you on the behalf of Buena Vista class of 2020.
So class, we appreciate that gift, and I promise you, the very first picture that we will let go through the lens of that projector will be the class of 2022. Thank you very much, Pastor Kai.
Congratulations, class of 2022. I would like to ask you guys to stand up for consecration prayer. Yes, you're welcome. Sorry. Let's pray. Our gracious, loving Father, today we celebrate the graduating class of 2022. We thank you for walking with each one of them along their journey. We thank you so much for your love and salvation for each one of them. We are grateful that they are your sons and daughters. Because of you, they have identity. It doesn't matter where they come from. It doesn't matter where they go or what they go through. It doesn't matter who likes them. You love them as they are, and they are yours. As they continue their life's journey beyond Buena Vista, we pray the prayer of Saint Benedict over them. Give them wisdom to perceive you, intelligence to understand you, guidance to seek you, patience to wait for you, eyes to see you, a heart to meditate on you, and a life to proclaim you through the power of the Spirit of Jesus Christ our Lord. With your blessing, may they be strong and courageous to take their moonshots and land on the star, aka the sun. So graduates, the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our most recent alumni class at Buena Vista. Let's give them a round of applause. And so now that you've become alumni, we have a dilemma. BV needs an 8th grade class. I know. We have an 8th grade class. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the class of 2023. It may not feel like it, but you are the next generation of 8th graders at Buena Vista. Congratulations. You are cordially invited to come over to Buena Vista in the new gym. The 8th graders have set up some display boards and there are refreshments, so we'd be happy to have you join us. Thank you.